Ever feel stressed out, anxious, like your mind is just a constant battlefield? Well, what if I told you that a 2,300-year-old text might just hold one of the most powerful guides for getting through modern life? Today, we're going to unpack the incredible wisdom of Zhuangzi's on the equality of things.
It really all starts with a feeling we know all too well. You know, that inner conflicts, that constant chatter. It feels like there's a non-stop debate club raging in our heads, and it's fueled by everything from the 24/7 news cycle to endless arguments online. Honestly, it's exhausting. But why? Why does our mind seem to be wired this way?
So, Zhuangzi kicks off his text with this story about a sage named Zhuangzi who's found in this state of just profound peace, and his student is totally shocked. The way he's described is so strange, he seemed vacant, as if he had lost his other half. Now, what on earth could that mean? Losing a part of yourself to become whole? This is the central mystery we're here to solve.
So, what's Zhuangzi's diagnosis for all our suffering? He boils it right down to one single core problem: our preconceived mind, or in Chinese, chem sin. Basically, this is the rigid set of judgments, biases, and opinions we build up over our entire lives. It's that mental filter that makes us so reactive to every headline, every hot take, and according to Zhuangzi, it's a trap.
And this preconceived mind, it really has one primary job. It creates duality. It absolutely loves to take the seamless, whole reality of the world and just chop it up into pairs of opposites. And in doing that, it turns our own inner world into a never-ending battleground.
Just think about how relentlessly our mind does this. This thing helps me, it makes me feel good, so okay, it's good. This other thing hinders me. Well, that's obviously bad.
And this idea? Well, it challenges my worldview, feels a little threatening, so of course that perspective has to be wrong. And mine, naturally, is right.
And you know, it all comes from the most fundamental split of all. There's me, the absolute center of my own universe, and then there's you, everybody and everything else.
And here is the crucial point, the real takeaway. This non-stop habit of creating opposites, this endless judging, is the very engine that turns our mind into that battlefield we were just talking about. We are creating the very conflict that tears us apart, moment by moment. Okay, so if that's the trap, how do we get out of it? Well, Zhuangzi offers this truly mind-bending revelation, one that sounds surprisingly like something you'd hear in a modern physics class. It's a holographic view of the universe.
A modern analogy really helps make this clear. So imagine a security guard watching a wall of monitors. On screen 1, he sees a person's back. A minute later, way over on screen 10, he sees that same person's face. He might log those as two separate events. But the reality is much simpler, isn't it? It's just one person seen from two different perspectives.
And this is the core idea of Qiwulan, the equality of things. What we see as totally separate, opposing things, good and bad, me and you, they're really just different perspectives on a single, unified whole. Every piece contains the information of the entire system. Another amazing way to think about this is with a broken mirror. If you shatter a mirror and pick up just one tiny little fragment, what does it reflect? Not just a tiny piece of the scene. No, it reflects the entire image. In the same way, good and bad aren't two different things, they're just two different reflections of the same whole.
Now, I know this is a pretty profound philosophical shift. I mean, seeing the world as a unified whole is one thing, but how does that actually help when you're feeling anxious about a deadline or frustrated in an argument? How do we live this? Zhuangzi's answer is that we need to find the pivot point. He calls this the Dao Shu, or the pivot of the Tao. And the metaphor is just perfect. Think of a big spinning wheel. The rim is moving like crazy, right? It's just a blur of motion and chaos. But at the very center, the hub, there's a point of complete stillness. From that still point, you can see all the motion without getting swept away by it. That is the goal.
This is it, finding this still point inside yourself. It's a place of calm observation, not frantic judgment. And this is the peace that the sage Zhuangzi found when he lost his other half. He lost that judging, dividing part of his mind and found the unified, still center. So how do we actually practice this? Well, you can start by just observing your thoughts without latching onto them, especially the anxious ones. Try to acknowledge different sides of an issue without that compulsive need to declare one right and the other wrong.
you'll start to see how what you call good actually depends on what you call bad. And from this place of stillness, you can respond to life thoughtfully instead of just reacting emotionally.
And all of this leads us to the most transformative takeaway from Zhuangzi's entire philosophy. It's a simple idea, but it's absolutely profound. Your world is a projection of your mind.
A modern commentator on this text, Liang Dong, puts it perfectly: your worldview is obscuring your world. That Chengxin, that preconceived mind we talked about at the beginning, it doesn't just color your perception of reality, it actively blocks you from seeing reality as it is. It projects a world of conflict and then forces you to live inside it.
The implication here is an absolute game changer. If your experience is a projection, then you hold the power. By changing your inner world, by letting go of those rigid dualities and finding that still pivot point, the outer world you experience must change with it. You go from being a victim of your circumstances to a co-creator of your reality.
So, we end with this final thought. It's a question to take with you. If your reality is truly a reflection of your inner state, and you have the power to change that state, what kind of world will you choose to project? Peace or battle? Wholeness or division? The choice, as Zhuangzi tells us, is entirely yours.